Want to united Americans. They don't want it. They can't have it because then we would make them do their job. Now, my basic speech are 4 issues, just 4. It comes down to accountability, responsibility, education, and the Constitution. Those are it. If we can do those 4 things, our country will once again be great. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're pretty damn good now. But right now we're fighting a battle against socialism, against something that never has been and never should be America. We do not like mediocrity. We don't do it. I mean, I've coached rec league for years, and we can't have winners and losers. Everybody's got to win. Well, no, everyone doesn't have to win. You have to build character through adversity.
Yeah!
That's what America's always done to be overcome. So let's get back to it. We got the economy. We have global warming, which can't be proved and can't be proved. We've got cap and trade. And then you got this nice new one here the last month or so, healthcare. These are all just political tools, I'm here to tell you. They want to scare everybody. They want to scare this group over here, they want to scare that group over there. They want us divided. Like I said, I'm going to repeat myself because people need to keep hearing it. They want to divide us as Americans. That's why I don't identify myself as a Baptist. I don't tell people I'm a Republican. I'm an American and I'm a Christian, and I want my country. That's why I'm here. Politicians go around quoting great men and want to be the next Abraham Lincoln. They want to be the next Thomas Jefferson, but they don't want to literally tell you everything about it. President Obama wants to sit there and talk about morality, which really just makes me laugh. But he wants to talk about morality and saying how it's unethical for us to, torture people. But at the same time, he'll go around and talk about how great abortion is. He'll talk about how great, how we need to bail these people out, but then it puts our children $45,000 of that. Thomas Jefferson said it was immoral to pass along our debt to the next generation, but he didn't want to talk about that quote.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin said, "Well done is a whole lot better than well said." It comes down to actions, not words. I talk to my son about that all the time. He's 14 years old. People will talk pretty, but until they do something, literally do something, it's just all talk. It's hot air. So I am amazed that President Obama got elected, but he talks pretty. Most people don't believe in actions, not words, I guess, unfortunately. But I do. I do. Being a tradesman, like I said, I've never ever been able to talk a house and build itself. And some days, believe me, I'd like to, because man, it's hard work. But if you want anything done, and if it's worth anything, it takes hard work to do it. That's what America's always been about. And we need to get back to those basic principles. So let's talk about morality. I'm sorry, I get upset and I get on tangents sometimes. So I was just talking about morality, but unfortunately, see, morals and morality, they get in the way. They keep wanting to redefine morals as they go, because they get in the way. Well, let's take this homosexual movement. Well, it's not right. It's not wrong. They want to sit there and cram it down our throats one way or another. Honestly, I don't think it should be a federal issue. I think it comes down to states. It comes down to state issues and state rights. And that's what's important. We got to get, mom and dad already have one. We need to get government mom and dad off our backs and let the state run it.
Yeah.
If Texas wants abortion and Louisiana doesn't, that's the way it's going to work. If you don't like it, move to Louisiana. If you don't like homosexuality in your state, then move to another state. I'm sorry, but that's just how I see it.
Yeah.
It comes down to state rights. Like I said, I get off a little bit on tangents here, but that letter, back to that, I wasn't bragging. I was not. That's just what's important to me. That's why I go around the country speaking at tea parties, challenging people. Like I said, I'm not up here to shout USA. I'm not up here to tell you I'm happy you're here and you're great Americans and everything else. I want to see what you do when you go home. I want to see what you do, what you're going to do as far as vetting out your leaders. If you're going to challenge Governor Perry to do what's right, if you're going to challenge your senators and local representatives to do what's right, if you're going to challenge the next presidential election, you've got to remember 200 million people stayed home that night of the election. Those are the people that we need to get out, reach to, and tell them, hey, listen, this is your America, and it's your responsibility to continue to have your freedom. That's what you need to do. Now, to quote another great man, these are quotes because I am by far not a great man. I fall short, way short. Only by the grace of God am I saved. So, that being said, Thomas Jefferson said, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. You guys know what that means? That means get educated. That means learn your Constitution. That means you've got to hold these people accountable. Like I said before, it comes down to accountability, responsibility, education, and the Constitution. It is your responsibility, as it is mine, to hold the politicians accountable for their actions. Now, I've been a plumber for many years, and many times I'd go to somebody's house. Well, not many. I was actually a damn good plumber. But sometimes, every once in a while, I would mess up, and a faucet would leak a couple days after I got done. Now that bill would be $70, $100, and you better believe that wife and husband is on the phone forever getting me back to their house to make sure I come back and fixed it. And they had every right to make sure they did that. Now, government spends trillions of your dollars. Why aren't you on the phone? Why aren't you angry? Why aren't you out there talking about this? You're angry because they're spending our children's debt. They aren't defending us. They aren't defending our borders. They aren't doing their job. So you have every right to be angry. It's just use that voice in a good way. Do not slander people. That gets nowhere. That's what the very vocal minority does. They slander us and call us a bunch of conservative neo-Nazis. They don't understand Nazism actually is very close to liberalism. So it really cracks me up when they call me that. It's like, well, it's what you're doing. It's not what I'm doing. I want to talk about the facts. Because only the facts will actually get us anywhere. So, anyways, it comes down to us holding our responsibility to hold our politicians accountable. And it comes down to education. You cannot throw money at it. You can't pay a kid $1,000 to learn. You've got to sit him down, make sure he reads that book, understands what he's reading, then give him a test. Our teachers have a hard enough time. They can't discipline the children that are sent to them. Our parents are lazy parents these days, and they just take them off to school and don't do any work. It is my job to make sure my 14-year-old gets a good education. You know, when the mainstream media wants to tell me, because I've talked about this before, I say it's my size 12s in his butts that keeps him getting good grades. I don't mean it literally. I just mean it is my responsibility as a parent to make sure my son learns, as it is your guys'. That's where education comes in. The textbook doesn't need to be brand new. It can be 30 years old, and they can learn. In fact, they probably learn better compared to some of the history books I read these days. So it comes down to education, and that is parents' individual responsibility to do that. And then it comes down to the Constitution. I'm here to tell you it is not a living, breathing document. It's black and white. I'm a dumb plumber, and I understand it. I do not need to be a lawyer to have it explained to me. Unfortunately, these politicians seem to have, they can make it say pigs fly, believe it. If it served their purpose, they would literally tell you that. So that's what it comes down to, people. It comes down to common sense. Everything else is a political tool. Global warming, healthcare, the economy, race issues. I mean, really, it's a political tool to keep us at each other's throats. And we need to turn off that drama and say, what are you really doing? Let me see some actions. Vet these guys out. In closing, the only thing I say is thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I hope you do something when you leave here. And please honor, always honor your military folks. They deserve it. Thank you very much.
All right, Doug.
Hey, we got some frisbees, but before Joe starts tossing them, I just want to say something. Watch your heads, okay? My name is Gail Gachuba. I'm the charge of the San Antonio Tea Party. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to see you people here. I want you to know that the people who put together the Stand Up for Texas rally still have not come